Welcome to Skylight Huddle. This is session something. I can't actually remember. Hold on. '33, I think. Session 33. Does that sound right? Well, thank you for tuning in. Appreciate you. Today, we are going to be playing with the Polyend Tracker. And Polyend recently had an update where they added in an ability to pre-save what they call instruments, which is essentially just samples or a sample in the tracker, retaining its parameters that you set it with the instrument parameter window. This key right here. In here. If you look here at the tracker, for instance, go to my sample I made just a moment ago and was featured in the, I guess you'd call the curtain screen before we came into the stream here. I recorded several chords here, and I cut them up into separate slices so you have all those pieces in there. And now, when I save the session, the instrument that I created here will get sent to, well, not in here, but something like this. Here's some examples from what Polyend offered in a pack that I got online. They call them PTI files, and essentially it just means whatever adjustments you made to the sample when you were working on it in a project of yours, those settings will be retained, and you can find them if you go to the project you're working on and check its files. There's now a file called instruments, and you can go in there and you can select PTI files and have the settings from a session that you'd worked on that you particularly liked the sound that you got. So with that in mind, there's been a lot of buzz in the community of Polyend Tracker users about people offering PTI packs, and I'm excited to see what people do with it. I'd like to contribute to that as well. So what my job today is come up with some cool chord structures that can be used as chord triggers for a instrument. Now, I want to welcome you if you've never viewed Skylight Huddle. We do a live stream every Tuesday around 2 o'clock. On occasion, my guest will hang out here and we'll make music together. Typically, it's John. We're going to be heading into a new chapter in Skylight Huddle here shortly where we bring on guests, and that's going to be pre-recorded and released on this channel. We're going to be discussing musical interest, and most of the people we'll be interviewing will be musicians, and I intend to ask them like questions about how, why are they driven to write music and or play it? What are their earliest influences with music that they've remember? Like, what's your earliest memory with music? I think was the way we prompted that question. And that's going to be more of a it's not going to be about making music so much as just talking about it. And like I said, it's going to be a pre-recorded thing. If you're interested and you're a local, you know me, I've reached out to some people already in person. I'll be sending an email out to you with prompts that you can answer. Well, I'll be sending out an email with just like, what to expect when you come here and like what it feels like to do a Skylight Huddle session and that kind of thing. So yeah, look forward to seeing some of you out here. I've already gotten a couple of exciting confirmations on that. No dates have been set yet, but we intend to get to that as soon as we can. John will be joining me here soon. Not entirely sure what his time frame is. I know he's been busy today. So I offered him the ability just to come in and hang out. So maybe at some time during the session, you'll be seeing John pop in. He's all set up to go. I'm curious as to what he could add to coming up with some chords for these instruments I'm creating today. But in the meantime, I'm going to get started. I'll run you through like the process of how I do it and what I like to, how I like to conceptualize it. So for me, it actually starts with a pen and paper. And I'll write down, a chord progression that I like. I also, somewhere around here, oh, there it is. I have a book that has all these progressions in it that I like. And sometimes I'll pull that down to get in like a rough start of where I want to go. But so I'll come over here and I'll play a little bit on the keys and find a progression that sounds really cool. And this patch sounds really pretty too. Yeah, the Mini-Log XD. I had the original Mini-Log, the silver-faced one. I bought one a while ago. I'd say probably about maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and that's where I learned a lot of the fundamentals of synthesis on. And then I upgraded to the Mini-Log XD, and I've been really happy with it. It's got a wavetable sort of set up in it, and some noise generators and stuff that has a couple extra features. There's some reverbs and delays on here that sound insane. There's a reverb, I think it's called a riser, I think. And that one sounds incredible, but just the tone of it sounds it's just so pretty. I don't know. I love that. The triangle. And the modulation in the tail. Oh yeah, you can hear the reverb there. It's really pretty. Just watching that. Carries nicely. That's how I made this this patch here, but I'm gonna start from scratch. I gotta mind the project memory on this. It doesn't take much to fill it up when you're doing this kind of stuff. Let's see. So we're gonna go to sample recorder. Check our levels. Turn monitor off. There we go. So let's see. The progression I already created is in A major. It was something like that. I think we're gonna do an F sharp progression. But I realized when I was putting in the name of the chords into the tracker, it's limited on what characters you can use when you use the tracker. It's pretty easy to plug in the flash drive, the micro flash drive, into the USB adapter that Polyend provides. You can also use an adapter, and if you have an SD card reader, you can do it that way. I've had no issues using one of those. So that you can. All that to say, you could go into the computer and rename things whatever you want to name them. Let's see. So F sharp. What are the chords in F sharp? Let's see. So we got F sharp, obviously. G sharp minor. B flat minor. Or A sharp minor. B natural major. C sharp major. Then you have the E flat minor. And I gotta speak in flats because, like I said, you can't save things with sharps. I realized that earlier. I don't know if I got to that point, but that was the point I mentioned with the limited characters and that conversation with the SD card reader and all that. So I think the progression I'm going to use is starting on the third, which is the B flat minor. A little bit too bright for me. Let's go down a step. Might make it a 7. Yeah, that sounds pretty. So our first chord is going to be a B flat minor 7. Of some kind. Let's walk that up to a B natural major. Then to the 4, which is a D flat. D flat major. And then we're going to walk that back down to the 2, which is the A flat. A flat minor. And then we'll do that progression again, but another variation of it. So we're going to hit the record button here. And then we're going to come over here. First chord trail a little bit longer. I'm going to do that again. All right, so now we got that. So now when I come in here, this is the challenging part. I like to name it so I don't forget what it is, but it takes a minute on here. I'm still getting used to the typeface. Is that what they call it? Typeface? I don't know. Whatever. So B flat minor 7, and then B, and then D flat. When John does get here, I'm not sure when that's going to happen, but I'm going to break away for a moment. I'll put it up on a screen and maybe I'll play what we've been working on up until this point. Let's save and load that. Yeah, we're filling up on memory. We can always start another session, or we can delete these because I believe since they're saved, they will not retain the instrument information, but they will retain the chords itself. So now I've said that, maybe I shouldn't delete it. I disregard the last thing I said here. Okay, so now we have an F sharp progression. So let's see, what do we got? Oh yeah, the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna beat slice it. Let's see what happens when we auto slice. Okay, it gives me a lot of junk. So I'm just gonna do it up by hand. Okay, so let's see. The first one, we'll come right to the beginning. I don't want that click sound in there. That's pretty good. Okay, and then let's add another one. kind of swells in, which I kind of like that. It's going to create really cool textures. Let's see, another. That sounds good. And add the last one here. Cool. All right, now we're gonna go to pattern, and let's play this. So how do we wanna perform it is the question. I think I'm just gonna go off of just some random notes here. We're gonna start with this one. Just punching them in randomly. Let's see what happens. That's cool. I mean, it's a little messy, right? But let's throw a beat in there and see what that does for us. Okay, now we can kind of get an idea of what we want to like adjust. So I know off the hand here, I want to copy this one and move it somewhere. And then maybe do that. And then put this one in the middle. Okay, and then, so now I got kind of a rhythm of the reference there. That's pretty cool. Let's see, let's save this. And we're just going to say chords. Instrument. Man, I can't type on this thing. Let's try this again. Instrument. There we go. So I'm just going to use this as my place where I build up these chord instruments. Okay, so then what we're going to do, now that that's saved, is we're going to do new project. Now I should be able to find that. I've been filling this thing up, and I notice it does some weird stuff when it's all the way full. If we go to projects, and we go down to, let's see, can I find it? There we go. Go in here. See how it's saved as instruments there? Yeah, you can see that, I think. So if I click on instruments, it's going to show all those instruments I just had, and they're going to be now labeled as PTI files. So if I add that, and I go into my project here, there's all the information. Go into the song, and there's all the chords. So, all right, hang tight. I'm going to be right back. All right, let's get back to it here. So that was my first progression. Let's see, let's do another one. sample recorder. Turn this off. There we go. So what should the next progression be? Let's see, what should the next progression be? So we have F sharp progression, and we have an A progression. Let's pick one that we don't have yet. Yeah, so let's pick one we don't have. I'm thinking the next thing would be probably like, let's do a B progression. So for this one, I want to be a little more creative than the last one. The last one was mostly for demos. So I'm going to play around for a little bit and see if I think of anything. I already thought of something here. I should do a little bit slower. Hold on. Yeah, let's see what that does. So that progression I should write down was B and then C. No, B and then E flat. B and then E flat minor. All right. Okay, and now let's go save it. Keep bumping this camera. And that's annoying. I'll have to fix that for next stream. So what did we say that was? B and E flat minor? Okay. Let's see. B. Oop. B. E. Flat. Minor. It does it again. B. E. Flat. Minor. Save and load. I'm curious. I want to play around with that a little bit because I thought the textures on there were really pretty. So let's see what we get. First things first, we got to slice it. Oh, hello. Just that. That sounds good. Add another one. Another thing they added to the Polyend that I'm really glad in the last firmware update, this would be 1.5. They added in that when you press the corresponding slice down here on the pads, it will select that slice up here. In previous versions, when you press the slice, it would make no adjustment to which slice you are selected on. I thought that was an amazing improvement and will probably lead me to using the beat slice mechanic more often. Is that another one? Okay, and add the last one here. Oh, I love that dissonance in there. Those notes. That minor second. Or I mean that major second. That is beautiful. All right. Let's go to pattern. Let's see what we do here. The other thing I'd like to add in here real quick is one of the instruments that they added in and an instruments pack on their website. Let's see. Let's do there's a hip hop kit in here that sounds really good. I think it was in here. Let's add that one. And now I want to show you with the drums. They recorded a bunch of drum samples here, and then you're able to play all the samples like it's a kick. So we gotta find our kick drum. It's probably there. It is. Let's try that one down a little bit. Oh man, I keep bumping that camera. That's annoying. All right, let's go. And I want this to be real swung out, but I like to do the swing manually, like with the micro move. So I think I'm going to start with the snare. And we're going to do that every 16 ticks. Not a fan of those snares. That one I like. All right. And now let's do the kicks. I'm so used to selecting instrument to go to a different kit, but I don't have to do that now. I like that kick, how dry it sounds. Micro move it. There you go. And let's put a little hi-hat in there. I'm not sure if I like this hi-hat. I do like that one. It's an open hat sound. Yeah, we'll keep it like that for now. Let's tune that down a little bit more. Maybe bring it up a little bit. Okay. Now, we'll add in some chords. Let's duplicate that. Put another one in here. I'm gonna roll that. Try that note here. There you go. That roll function makes things sound really cool. Oh, there it is. Might put one here with a roll. I want it to be real short like this. Let's see. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. Snare's a little hot. That sounds really nice. It needs to go somewhere though, doesn't it? I'm gonna go. Yeah, that's it. I mean, who cares, right? It's hard to mess up on this thing. It's really just about making sure things sound cool. And that's what I like about the tracker. It gives you the freedom to be as creative as possible. The bar of entry is pretty low. It's just the old mantra is if it sounds good, it is good. And you use your ears, and if you enjoy what you're hearing, hey, you might have a hit. I'm going to put a nice little kick pattern in here. With that micro move, of course. Let's try down 0.7. So I can keep working here. That's a cool sound. Damn, that's good. A little bit loud. Bring that volume down a little bit. Just on this one. Oh, that's the opposite of what I wanted. There we go. This one too. Nice. Copy that. Bring it down here. Put a couple more of those kicks in here. I like how it really shuffles it up. That sounds really nice. Alright, let's go to the pattern editor and let's add these in. Let's do a couple of those and do a couple of these and remind me how long is pattern 1. It's 40 length and this one's 20. So let's do a couple of those. fellas. Hey, you should hop on the mic if we're having this conversation, because that's a good conversation. Okay. Well, and if you don't mind, before we have that conversation, listen to what I got going on here, because it sounds really dope. Okay, keep it in your head. I'll remind you. And play a little with the synthesizer, because it sounds insane. Got a little pimento here if you want to mess with that. That sounds good. Big crush here. Oh, a little bit too much. Hold up. Swatch that out. Swatch that out. A little bit crush here. There it is. Nice.
I'm looking for something here.
That's good. That's cool. So, what's this about folk music?
So, am I allowed to be like a little bit dismissive of the genre and just call it stomp clap music?
I mean, you are well within your rights. I mean, it's your opinion and all.
All right.
You say whatever you want about it. I can't speak for how someone might feel about it, but I don't think that matters too much, personally.
I don't know. I like that sound for some reason.
You like the stomp clap?
Yeah, like I was hearing something in my head on the way over here, and I can't recall it now exactly.
Yeah.
But like there's a certain vibe that was with that, and I don't know if it's like the like it just the music sounds big. Like we've been doing a lot of stuff where we've been talking about like I guess like a cinematic quality to things.
Yeah.
I feel like that music had that.
You know what? Now that you mention it, it did in a way.
Like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So regardless of whether the fact that a lot of it seemed kind of like derivative and we'll just say economics driven, for lack of better like terminology, I guess. In that sense, I feel like there was something there, and that's why it got used for everything. Got used for like every TV show bumper, every like, I don't know.
It felt like that generation's folk music or punk rock in a way.
In a way, yeah.
You know, because it like punk was in everything in the 2000s, and then 2010 hit, and folk rock was in everything.
And now what I'm realizing is like, so I like that you pointed that out because I hadn't even taken the thought process that far.
Yeah.
So say it's that. Then it makes it obvious then that what would the next thing to come after that be? It's like not in the sense of what would you expect, but like what is it? What did it end up being? And it's like, well, 70s music. You know?
Okay.
Like funk and soul. Like now we're at a point
That's
where
true. Like
everything's
Childish Gambino did some stuff.
yeah, and now we're getting to a point where it's almost drifting into like straight up disco territory.
Right.
And that's almost seen as like the weird thing, like to mix in with whatever else you're doing. But like, I don't know. I don't know what comes after that. Because in my opinion, that's kind of the timeless genre. Like soul's never gotten old.
Yeah.
Like I still love it. Pretty much everybody I know who's into music is likes soul music in some fashion or another.
Yeah.
So it's like interesting to see. It's like, well, now that we've made it there, like what do we circle back to now? Because after that, everything was already kind of derivative. And I don't really see, maybe you see it a different way, but I don't really see like well, okay, maybe I'm willing to see it different now that I think like you talk about like this hyper pop thing.
Yeah.
That's very like minimalist and almost like not informed by lack of example, like maybe a lot of early music was, right? Because it's like a lot of these artists at the start of it, it's like, well, you know, they were doing stuff that was new. So there was something novel about it, and there was nothing like you could make any excuse in the world and it would be valid because it's like, well, we didn't know, we didn't have anything. Like,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
And now that's almost being emulated in a way.
Yeah.
The sound of not having like, I don't know, not having, like you said, everything be pristine and perfect and whatever. Like,
it's weird because it is and it isn't. Like all the things that they make pristine are like digital effects where like vocals and stuff, right? But then they'll like completely exploit like the way a preamp on an audio interface sounds. Like they'll just fuck up the audio. Like they'll turn up the gain stage way too fucking high. It's way too high. And I'm sorry for my cursing. It's like hard not to. But yeah, it's like they turn it up way too high, and it's like, yeah, it enters into like that unnatural characteristic. I don't know, it's weird. It's like refined and it isn't at the same time.
okay, like here's an example of another place that was done well.
Okay.
In a sense. Maybe a little bit tangential to the conversation, but like think about like the Killers' first two records. The vocal was very like, I'm going to go ahead and say it was more than just saturated. I mean, it was straight up distorted a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to be the sound. And I really like it. And to be honest, I've tried to emulate it, and I'm not entirely sure how yet.
You're telling like that peeling off the tape kind of sound where it's like, it feels,
It's incredible.
It is very
I
good.
love that sound.
I do too. I wish I had that.
Like I said, I've chased it a little bit, and I haven't quite got there
We've
yet.
done things, I feel like, that have gotten to a certain extent like it, but not anything that sounds exactly like that. Yeah, it'd be nice to.
Yeah, it's a sound I really am into, but I've realized that is a quality I really really like, and I'd like to go heavy into trying to exploit that. And like I said, I like the cinematic elements
Folk.
of like kind of that 2010s like folk thing, where like I said, everything was like it wasn't all influenced by what do you call it, like tropical house and stuff, but you were starting to hear like really basic kind of structures, maybe even around like, thirds or tenths or things like that, where it's really like pulled back and it's just letting the impulse of like, drums or whatever do most of the talking. And then like the vocal, like maybe the vocal is going to be like drenched in reverb or like super saturated or something to make your attention just go right there.
Yeah. The first band I can think of, because you asked like what's the earliest, a couple come to mind. I don't know when they got their start, but the Lumineers were pretty early.
I forgot. Okay.
And Mumford and Sons is the other one.
Okay, and that's what I was thinking of. But you're right. The Lumineers kind of did it.
I feel like they were first. Yeah, pre-2010. I feel like they were like leaning into that, because I remember in high school going on a website called thecoolhunter.net or something like that. And it was showing you like the latest clothing trends that were going to come down the pipeline, and like the latest music that was going to come down, and like art styles and all that kind of stuff like that. And I remember seeing some of those that was when I found like some of those early bands. I feel like I saw Lumineers on there, and this would have been pre-2010, but maybe I'm wrong. I know I certainly found like MGMT through that.
Right.
But that's not folk. I'm just saying that I found that was around that era. But then like I don't know when Florence and the Machine started making music, because they were pretty early. That whole scene came and went pretty quickly. I think by 2015 it was already overdone.
And I'm trying to figure out like why is that?
Maybe for the reasons you mentioned. It was just we rushed through it so quickly. I think it was at that time when music was a little easier to make. That genre of music wasn't necessarily easier to make, but I think because on the coattails of that genre wrote in like other styles that were easier to produce and quicker to produce, and I think it just oversaturated the market. If I had to guess, because by 2015, that was about the time when like your Universal Records or whatever was like, they're not letting the record deal, the traditional record deal thing was being phased out or starting to, and people are starting to upload just stuff to SoundCloud or whatever they could, and then people were getting popular just through online without any studio.
Right.
So I wonder, and a folk band, I feel like really relies heavily on a studio, because there are a lot of acoustic instruments. You need a larger space to record. Usually they're larger groups. They're more expensive to play.
More expensive to tour as well, I guess. Yeah.
I mean, some of those bands, there's a band called Mother Falcon that has like 20 members, and they're a folk band. That'd be real hard to manage all that and getting everybody on the same schedule, or like at least a majority of people who want to be a part of it, Like,
well, and as we know, based on like what we're doing Sundays with Vibe Units, like think of the logistics of that. If you got 20 people, say if just half of them do vocals,
dude,
like I mean that's serious. The line check for a band like that is like time consuming, man. Even if you have like we were talking on Sunday,
a
little bit about like efficiencies and like places we could kind of like tighten up and have like certain elements of what we're trying to do just be less time consuming, right? So say you're in that position and you're actually touring an act out.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you're going to try to do as many of those as you can, as many efficiencies as you can come by. And so say you're even in that ideal situation, right? Where like it's paid for and you can figure it all out. It's like even with all efficiencies in place, it's still crazy. A lot of moving parts, like a lot of stuff going on. So I don't know. You make a good point there. It's one of those things where it's like, how marketable is it?
Yeah.
In a certain sense. And then on top of that, you have to tour it probably.
Yeah.
Really.
Before you got here, I was talking a lot about Polyend.
Okay.
And when you go to their website right now on the front end, it talks about making an album. Like, let's make an album together. So you go from having folk bands, 20 people, let's say half of them sing, like you said. That's 20 microphones, or at the very least, like a microphone that's good enough to capture that many voices and a certain quality that you want. I'm certain
I
you
mean,
would.
maybe 10's a little bit of an overstatement, right? In a lot of these
Right.
bands, it's probably not actually 10
Let,
people with vocals, but I'm
just over exaggerating for. I mean, if they're using acoustic instruments and they want that real sound, like they're going to be doing overhead microphones and stuff, like there's some complicated stuff going on.
right.
The more bodies you have there, the more sound's getting sucked up. What do you got to do to like make sure it sounds, like as expressive as you want?
Well, more mics means more potential phase problems too, so it's a lot to worry about.
So what I realized going to Polyend, they just released a firmware update 1.5, and it's pretty cool. I was exploring it before you got here with our viewers. But what I realized is people are going from these large scale productions to being able to make albums in a box that the size of that tracker. And that's pretty amazing. I mean, there's some limitations, like you need some vocal ideas and stuff, but if people are just cutting up samples and stuff, I mean, it's completely mobile. It's kind of remarkable.
Have you seen, I just saw this the other day, and I can't name drop anything because I don't know any of it. So maybe if somebody's watching, does a little bit of digging, they could find it. But basically, I was seeing, so somebody, I'm trying to think of an example of something like this. Like, like your standard kind of box that you maybe you have like cable TV, and you rent like, they give you the box every month or whatever with the service, and it's like something that's maybe, yay big, like squarish, maybe like yay tall, right?
Yeah.
It's just a box. It just needs a power supply and you hook it to the cable and that's it. It's supposed to just kind of magical and it gives you Wi-Fi and it gives you cable TV and all these things. Well, wouldn't you figure that the next step for anybody making anything is like you said, like, how much can we just put in the box? Like people they like this idea of, I just bought the box and it has all the stuff in it, know?
It's got what I need.
Yeah. So I saw this company that makes something like that. So we're talking a small box that's, maybe yay tall, like squarish, like that big kind of thing. And you set it on a table and I think it has a battery in it, but it takes power. And it's got like a pair of XLRs, I think, for inputs, and maybe like a pair of TRS for outs or something.
Wow.
And it has an app. It has no like display or anything really on it. And it has an app, and it's basically a DAW. But the app isn't the DAW. The app just remote controls this box. And the box is the DAW, it's virtual instruments, it's effects, it's a recorder, it's basically everything. So like you could just basically make anything you want on this. And you just remote control it with like software.
That's amazing.
So it's like even a step past this, you know what I'm saying? It's like somebody's thinking about like, well, what if you wanted to just show up somewhere and record an album, And there's actually a box that you can buy that technically will do it all. And I've never played with one, so this isn't like the John DeWitt endorsement.
This is your speculative look into it.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it in terms of like someone's trying to do the whole condense it down into a marketable package and make it super easy. Like beyond the whole, hey, hey kid, you could buy an interface and download Reaper for free and start making a record. It's like, even skipping all that, we're down to like just buy the box and install the app and you're done.
Wow. That's remarkable.
So it's like, what do we expect to see in the next, say, 10 years in terms of content? Like it's not even about like the tools anymore. And we've talked about this before, right? Like we're beyond the point where you can just blame the tools and be like, well, I would have made a record, but Pro Tools cost 10 grand and whatever. It's like none of that's there anymore. And now like I said, you can just buy a box and install the app and make an album. Like you said, there's all these like kind of almost like subgenres and like things that don't match any of the algorithms really, but like if people like them, they get picked up and anybody can like take a shot at, hey guys, do you like what I made? Because I liked it.
Yeah. And you might find a few hundred people who like your stuff, and that's all you need.
And that's really all you need. I'd rather have a couple hundred people that really like what I'm doing, where I don't have to keep like selling myself short and being like, well, I wanted to make this record, but I agreed with the record company that I'd make another radio one on this contract.
Yeah.
Or whatever. It's just all that's out the window.
One thing I'm gonna see I know is gonna happen is there's gonna be a lot more meme music, like a lot more jokey music that people release, because that's what's happened with any of the YouTube platforms or like people set up a platform, and I'm noticing that a lot of people approach that very disingenuously, where like they don't necessarily present who they are and they don't present anything but Whereas in the past, you'd have to be more authentic because you're dealing with people. You don't want to be known as the guys that do stupid stuff. You want to be known as the guys that get serious work done when you're in a recording contract. But now you don't have that problem because you don't have to convince anyone. So I think what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot more music that is just ridiculous. Like you might have someone who like,
Can I like say maybe more like just zeitgeist driven music, like just stuff based on whatever's going on at the
fair.
moment, you know?
I mean, you're probably thinking in terms of hip hop at the moment.
I'm thinking of anything really.
Yeah.
Because like I said, none of these genres or anything, like none of it's like outside of reach anymore.
No, you're right.
I mean, even like, okay, like I said, like when I'm being like dismissive or whatever and just calling it like stomp clap music, it's like there's a million sample libraries that have everything you'd need to make anything you heard in that time period now.
Yes.
Which I don't know if that existed then, to be honest. I wasn't trying to make that music then, but like now that it's been in and out or whatever, it's like, there's a million things floating around that sound like that you could build something out of.
It's going to be difficult to kind of find more stuff. I know that the market's going to get oversaturated. Right now, if you look at people doing similar stuff to what we're doing now, there's a lot of people out there having conversations about music-related stuff out there. I'm definitely a tiny, tiny little insignificant fish in a very large pond when it comes to this stuff. And but like in terms of music making too, like that's also an oversaturated thing where not only are people talking about music a lot, doing this kind of thing, they're also making a lot of music very quickly. And it's going to be one of those things where I think it's going to be in our best interest to look for quality because there's a lot of people out there that can make music that is, an afternoon, subpar music. And then there's other people out there who are going to be pushing for excellence and stuff. And if the tools are not a problem anymore, then the excuse of, well, I did the best I could with what I had, the bar is now being set extremely high because we have access to things that sound great. It leads into more experimentation, but also I think it also reinforces the importance of learning how to like mic up something properly or look for your own samples to create and that kind of thing.
I might suggest there's another layer of it too, which kind of plays off the whole thing you mentioned of like, the classical record contract and relationship with a distributor, whatever, maybe that whole thing has changed, right? But fundamentally, I think what's changed is we went from like, let's just say marketing yourself or your art went from is happening just based on the marketing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with that kind of disappearing from the equation, instead of it being this thing where you're competing with maybe somebody else that makes something like you and you go, I'm fighting for, this 5,000 people or whatever that buy that kind of record or whatever, you're motivated a kind of different way than maybe now where you look at it like you were saying, where it's like, I'd rather have a couple hundred folks that really vibe what I'm doing. And that might be the same, couple hundred folks that also likes this other thing. Maybe it's not. But it's not like because they like somebody else's thing that I've lost them.
Right.
Like the competition just doesn't look like that anymore.
Yeah, that's true. That's a silver lining to this whole thing, right? Because
like instead of, I guess what I'm offering is I'm saying instead of it just being like, and I'm not suggesting this is what you're saying, but there's a little bit of the mentality of like, it's, I'm a small fish in a big pond, yada, yada. And that does make sense. But at the same time, it's like, you're a small fish in a small pond with a bunch of other fish. Like it's a lot easier to find some fish to swim with. You know what I'm saying? So, and you don't, it's not like it's some competition where like, this is my group and I have to like be protective of that or whatever. It's like, no, I'm just happy for whatever comes my way.
Yeah. Actually, when I say that, I actually find a lot of comfort in that.
Same.
In the fact that it's like the stakes aren't as high, but the authenticity is higher than it's ever been because now I get to be myself. I get to be like I get to create music I like, and there'll be people out there that like it too. And I kind of can get in this mindset too. Like there's a lot of people out there doing music, but not Not specifically what I do. It's a smaller group, and then on top of that, because I'm being served on a silver platter via the YouTube algorithm, a lot of musicians doing stuff, I also have to remember that that's catered to me, and there's some people out there that don't even realize this exists. Like a Polyend Tracker does not exist to most people. They don't know about it, at least. And so, like, you know, there's people out there that'll be excited to know how that works. I just recently figured out what tracking was at, 29 years old. I'm, 30 now.
Right.
So it's kind of cool. I don't know. I'm really excited and hopeful. Hey, pal.
Hi, bud.
We may have had a little bit of a drop a moment ago, but we do have a recording, so I'll check it later and see what it's like.
Cool.
But it did reconnect right away, which is cool.
That's good.
I was telling everybody before you showed up, one thing I'd like to do with you if you're interested. So Polyend in their latest firmware update, we're up to 1.5 now. They added in...
For reference, what was it at when you started?
1.3.
Okay.
So we've had 2 updates.
So you're on the second revision since you got it.
Yep. And I was having an error in 1.4 where remember how in 1.3 when we first got it, it would sometimes glitch out when you played too many samples? Remember that?
Yeah, that was super frustrating.
Yeah. In 1.4 that issue was resolved, but it was replaced with another issue where if I was... And I'm not sure what triggered it, but sometimes when the pattern button was flashing in the bottom left corner, if I hit play or played a note, it would buzz out like that too. But now since the new update, I haven't had that issue, so I'm thankful to Polyend for that, fixing that problem. I was never sure, like, I actually did not report it because I didn't even understand what was going on at all to even be able to, like, I couldn't recreate it. It happened randomly. I just knew, like, if the red was flashing, which was annoying because I wish I would have been able to figure it out. But apparently someone else may have, if that was a problem for anyone else, that was resolved. Anyway, we're in firmware 1.5 now, and they did something really cool. So the way it used to work is you'd load samples into a project, and you could edit parameters like the attack or the decay of the sample or those kind of things, right? Well, if you went to another another song, and you wanted to work on that, let's say you'd work on a sample and you did all this modification to it and you wanted to take it to another session. Well, you had no way of transferring that instrument data over. Well, they made it where now when the session saves, it saves instrument data. So you can actually grab these file types are called PTI files, and you can grab those now from its own folder and drag them in, and it has the sample and all the adjustments you made. So here's why that's
good.
Here's why that's amazing. People have been creating, sound packs you can download now of things they've edited and made. The thing that's really cool about it is you can have a sample with several different like chords in it, right? You can beat slice it and then save that and then use it in other projects. So you don't have to beat slice it every time you enter it into a project.
That's amazing.
It's very good. In fact, I was saying, like, thank you, Polyend, for
it's funny
that update because it's amazing.
They don't that's something that. So I've told you how I used to do sample and slicing in FL Studio, right?
Yeah.
FL Studio doesn't have a way to do that, and that's always been frustrating
No
to
way.
me too. Yeah, you can. I mean, so let's put it this way. Because of this limitation, my way to work around it was basically figure out how to get the auto slice, figure out which of the auto slice functions was going to get it where it needed to be.
Yeah.
And count on that, knowing that if I need this instrument again, as long as I use the same slice,
Gotcha.
like settings, it'll be basically the same thing. Like I'll have minimal things I need to touch still.
Yeah.
But you couldn't like just recall the sample in the sampler with all the adjustments in the sampler, including things like what if I pitched it?
Yeah.
Or what if I changed the length of some of the samples? Maybe only like 2 of them needed to be extended, and all the rest were good. It's like, it would be nice to save that instead of going back to play it and going, why is this wrong? And then remembering, oh yeah, because I spent 2 hours fixing that and like it wasn't something I can recall.
That's aggravating because it's
Very
a lot of work
frustrating.
to beat slice. Like
Yeah.
that's a whole thing.
So my point is, at some point I'll just say I got away from sampling because a lot of that felt not very recallable. Whereas like say if I was on an MPC
Oh yeah,
Like if I
that's what they're made for.
Yeah, like that'll remember whatever I did when
Yep.
I bring back up, kits and whatnot. So
The other benefit to it is you can now on a single sample slot put an entire drum kit because you can just lights up the drum kits like this. So now you can do it. You can, you have a whole drum set to different.
do you still have polyphony?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
That's super nice.
Oh yeah. It's the way the polyphony works on the tracker is you get eight voices, right? So
Period.
yeah.
Okay.
So like you can play up to 8 notes, but if there's something else playing, you lose a note, right? You lose one of those. So if a sample's playing,
Do you know what you lose? Is it like a stack order, like whatever the
it's whatever the first was, first in, first out.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. That's how you'd want it to be. I just don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how they approach that.
Yeah, it's that way because the way the tracker's designed is that if a sample, so everything's on tracks, right? So
No, I get how it works. I'm just saying that's cool because that's like all the old school tracking
yeah,
and a lot of the cool things you'd hear in there
yeah,
that they would exploit. It literally depended on knowing that fact.
Yep.
Because, if I know, like, if I stacked everything in the right order, I know that when this new thing comes in, that the thing that's going to get dropped is this.
yes,
And when I get rid of that,
Yeah.
like that'll be a new thing now stacked on top of the order. So it'll have to go basically make it back down through before it gets cut again.
right.
Like that's sweet.
No, it's awesome. So yeah, it's perfect for with the tracker. But yeah, the thing I was going to ask you if you wanted to do is maybe we could play a little bit of chords, and I can record them so we can slice them up and make some chord palettes.
Okay.
Like, so the way I did it earlier, let me show you the sample I made. That's the drum sample, by the way. Let me. All right. So that's the drum sample here, but let me show you. I made this one. So I played the note, and then I released, and then I played another note, I released.
Gotcha.
But it doesn't have to be that way. We can definitely glide the notes into it, and you don't have to release. Is my point. You can do whatever. But I'll show you. This is what you were playing over. Was these sounds.
Nice. Okay.
See, so I was thinking stuff like that. If you that inspires you, let me turn on this sample recorder here.
Can I mess with this synth?
Absolutely, do whatever you want. That might be the problem there. That's your Porto.
We're
While
gonna mess with some stuff
you
here.
take as long as you need. I'm gonna get some coffee.
Go for it. Is there some kind of reverb on the board, or is it coming from here? I don't know how to. Can I? It's not. If I go off, I still hear reverb.
Yeah. So you're on delay setting. So do you see the lever to the left of that lever? Slide that to the middle. Now slide up with the on off, and then slide down.
Ah. Oh, okay. Now it does what I want.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, that portamento in a good spot. Okay, hold on. Yeah, you can still play, but
This is cool. All right, hold on. Now
you see what I'm going for? Do you see what? Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna save this up. Hey, what key were you in for that? By the way, do you know? You were playing some kind of minor there. Was that B flat? B? Thank you. Sounds like Super Mario. That's awesome.
close to the bass sound I want.
Nice.
Real close. There we go. It's filthy.
All right. How do you want to record this one?
Hold up. You should be able to grab shit out of there.
That's
Stuff
cool.
out of there.
Yeah, cool. Call that something like. What do you think of that? What do you think when you hear that? Oh, that sounds good too. It's like that Kettering sound you always go for. It's got.
got some more chords for you. You're gonna need these.
Okay, hold on. Running out of space on this project,
Shit.
but so keep it under 10 seconds if you can.
Let me know when it's running.
I will. Go.
There you go.
Perfect. And there we go. And let's just trim a little bit off the end there. Okay. Save this as stabs. I didn't look at what chords you were playing. Do you remember? Something like B. Was it like B minor or something?
Yeah,
like
the first one is a C minor. The second chord's an F minor. And the third chord is a G major 7.
Okay. Perfect. Let's do a little sample editing here. Let's go to this. Add in that. These are easy. These are so easy to get done. And then add the last one. Another thing that they fixed in this is, I also mentioned this earlier, now, prior to this update, when you clicked on a slice, it didn't select it up here, but now it does.
Nice.
Extremely nice.
That's a time saver. There you go, dude.
It's so good. And then also...
Dude, I love this mini log. It's fun. Oh, yeah. They get so grainy.
So that's actually really sweet. I'm glad we have that. That's going to be awesome. I wonder what it sounds like high. That's cool for some texture. Oh, did you hear... I detuned it. I was like... That's kind of cool.
Oh, God, yeah. Given that it's tracking, there's cool things you could do.
Yeah.
By taking the tuning of the sample inside the pattern. I assume it's something you could mess with. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Making beats is easy, bro.
I want to go to the other sample that we have, this bassy one. And here, if there's any texture in here we like, I'm going to cut off the extra stuff because we already saved the sample.
This has the same chords in it.
Let's see what else we got.
That's the G major 7.
I kind of like having that going into it because you can time it up and do different things.
I don't really even love that particular version of the C minor though. That was where I was just playing a bunch of notes being dumb.
I like though how you have the reverb up and those textures I might want to grab.
That's the C minor texture there. That's the G major 7. Though you might want a little before that. Yeah, like there. I wouldn't include the impulse. There you go. That's the G. There might be more of that texture up front. Oh, there's a nice with the 7 in it. That's nice.
Okay.
If you put it back farther, you can get the 7 in it. There you go. I like that because it really has the 7 forced into it with noise, which is sweet.
Nice. Okay, and then let's do.
Is the other sample the very front?
I
So that's
started
the very front.
yeah. I
Cool.
started
Nice.
the recording early, or late.
No, that's perfect. Those are the 3 you need. You can cut everything else out.
But let me show you something. Here's the problem with that. When you cut it, it's gonna keep time code, so it's gonna. We'll have to readjust them. That's not a big deal. It doesn't take long.
I'm just suggesting everything after probably about here could just die. Like you don't, if you're trying to save space or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think we care about any of that.
Oh yeah, we got crop this way, like here.
Yeah, like that's the only part we need. Yeah.
So go to sample. See, the impulses are still in the same spot, so we're gonna have to move these to the where they will go now. You know what I'm saying?
It's farther up. Oh, wait, you're looking for the F minor?
Was it here?
That's the G
Yeah.
major 7. Can you back the F minor up just a little? No, that's not. That's a C. That's a C minor. Here you go. Here you go. I'm trying to see if there's one that has that. No, it's too far. Now it has. That's pretty good there. I'm like looking for something that like gives you the clue about that shared fifth between them all.
I'm hearing that little click in there. Let's see if I can get it even more close to like a.
Maybe a little before that there, yeah.
Oops.
There you go. Now you're at a 0 crossing. That is one amazing feature of FL Studio. Unless you turn it off by default, anytime you cut or like change the length of a sample or anything, it always trims and snaps to 0 crossings.
Oh, nice.
So your samples are always clean. Like if you wanted them not to be, you'd have to mess them up on purpose, which I really like. So most of the time you just don't even think about it and it's right. But if you're trying to exploit it for some sort of effect, you know, it's not going to stop you.
Just saving this up. What's today?
Today is the 25th.
Still getting used to this keyboard on here. So weird. Okay. 25. Oh, sorry. That's actually a 125. There we go. Cool. So now, just to show you, if I go down to, if I go to the loader here, and I go to projects, I look for GLT. There's a lot of your stuff in here that I've been working on, but here it is. Enter that. Now it has an instrument section, and I can grab those. They're PTI files. Those are all our files that we're using.
Got it. Okay.
So any adjustments we make, we can actually drag those in. Like I could drag them in again, you know, if I wanted to.
Nice. Okay.
You know, it's really nice. I'm really thankful they updated that because.
Do we want to try to make something with that?
Yeah. So that'd be the next step, right? Let's see. Let's see what we can do. I'm just going to put down a beat. I figured out a better way to get that swung out style that we like. It's even more like space conserving. And it's just about using micro move. It didn't make sense to me until I did like the 6.8 resolution on a 4:4 grid. Now it makes more sense how the micro move works. So let's see, I'll put down oh shit. I like to start with a kick drum. Or not a kick drum, a snare drum. It's pretty abrasive. Now, one thing that's kind of troublesome about having all the samples on one thing is you're controlling the volume as a mix group of all the samples. You could go in to the sample editor and then like select different samples and then normalize them and make them quieter or louder, however, but that might also make things sound a little not so cohesive. I don't know. I haven't really gotten into any of that yet, but I'm not sure if I like this kit. I'm just gonna get another kit going of stuff I know it's gonna sound good. That these kits in here, these are the PTI kits that were offered on the website, Polyend's website. So I was just exploring those earlier, but they had quite a few in here. I was like, I wonder what they got, what they sound like. Go down to samples, this guy here, and go to kicks.
Hold up. Yeah. Let's keep.
Tell me when you hear when you
audition some stuff here.
I like that like dryness of that.
I'm actually looking for the opposite. I'm looking for something that's real. Ooh. That is in the neighborhood, but it's missing like the real heavy fundamental I'm looking for. But I feel like if we find one that has a strong tone, we could just simply saturate the hell out of it and it would be there. That'll work if we pitch it to the right spot. It needs to be pitched to a C. The only two notes we're going to need out of it is a C and a G.
Okay.
Go up a second. What was that number 10? 9 then? 8? See, do you hear the kick that's in 8? Like I'm going after that character, but I'm not saying use that. I'm just saying. Are you looking for something to blend?
Yeah.
Oh, go to that 6 again. That's pretty decent. It's a little dry though. I don't know.
See, I want something a little more.
That's not bad. That 4 is decent.
Kind of like that too.
I don't like it because it's got that noise in it. There's going to be a lot of energy in that range. I'm into that 4 the most, personally.
Yeah, me too. So real quick, instead of having 2 samples that we have to trigger every time, we're going to go to a new pattern, and we're going to put one of these down and one of these down. Now first let's tune them up to where we want. So
that one's going to have to go down.
This one here?
Yep.
Here, hold on. Let me do this as well. Might be annoying, but... That's good. Hold on.
I don't think that's changing it. Yeah, that's not the one we need to pitch.
Yeah, that's not the one, yeah.
That one, I didn't...
Add them backwards.
I didn't mind.
Okay, let's do this again.
Keep going. Keep going. There. One more. One more. There it is. That's a C.
So that's going to be our kick sound. Is you good with that?
Oh, yeah. That's
right.
Literally 100% of what I had in mind.
So then,
it's got that nice punchy impulse, but it needs to just have that saturated decay like
yeah.
that, and just ride.
Now we're going to go here, and I found out there's an export button in here where you can do exports for songs, which is cool. But we can also do export pattern. And so now that whole pattern's in there. And then what we do is we go back to the samples. And then we go to export. And we're on the JLT Skylight one. And there's the master. We'll rename it when we get it in here.
Oh, so that's your... Okay,
Yep.
Do you see what the wave looks like? That's how I know it's the one I want. It looks exactly correct.
So now we can get rid of this one.
Okay, so you made the combined sample.
Yep, there it is.
Smart. You basically just froze it.
Yes, exactly.
Beautiful.
And I'm going to bring that up here. And we're also going to rename that into...
And I assume inside the pattern, if you need to pitch for a certain hit, you can do that, right?
Say it again.
So we made the sample. It's a C fundamental, but
Yeah.
inside the pattern, if we want to make it be up 5
Oh,
steps
yeah.
or whatever, we can make it hit that way.
Hell yeah.
Okay, cool. That's
Yeah, we can do
perfect.
all
That's
that.
part of why I wanted to do this around a C, because I figured that would be easier.
Yeah, that'd be easier.
That
Okay.
kick's pretty sus, dude. I gotta tell you.
Yeah. Now we can delete this one down here. And yeah, now we got a nice little kick. And let's hear if that worked.
Oh yeah, it worked. It's perfect. So when we need it, we can hit that G. Where was it here? Hold on. Dude, perfect. That's right on the money.
Okay, let's find a snare. Yeah, the workflow on this thing's so much fun.
You got a snare that's got like a little bit of tambourine or something in it?
Oh, I bet we could find
Or we
something.
could make
Or we
something.
can make one. I mean, that's the thing. It's endless, right? Like,
I'm hearing like a silly, dry, like almost 707 style snare, but mixed with something more
you want
jangly and
Oh,
impulsy.
you want to
know?
start with a 707 because we have those.
Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, but we could always start there and get an idea.
Like that. Like that's so
Yeah.
beautiful, man. But it needs something else
I wonder if the
kind
tambourine in
of
here-
wet in it.
Want to hear them together?
Yeah, kind of.
All right. Let's do that. Do a little of that.
It's good. Can you bring the tambourine sound down just a little more?
In terms of volume?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
level wise, mix wise. Yeah, now it's got that thing I was looking for in it.
Feeling good about it?
Yeah, that's pretty
Let me
good.
render that one down. now.
Honestly, let it come up just a little more.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, cool. So now we got to get to that export again. We're going to export this pattern. Whoa, weird glitch sound. Cool. All right, and now we go back to... No, I think they're both going to be called master, unfortunately. Okay, so there's... Yeah, so here's... They labeled them where that's sample 1, or part 5,
Yeah, I get you.
and scene... I don't know what that is. The sequence 1, maybe? Well, there's that part.
That's beautiful. And honestly, I'm gonna let you know you should hang on to these because
Oh, yeah.
we're making stuff that like you don't even have to ask. It's what I like. It's what I want. If
Hell
you're
yeah.
making beats, you know.
Okay. Yeah, I'll make sure they're all labeled properly. I mean, once we save the session, like I said, they're saved as instruments, and I can grab them whenever I want. It's
Cool.
It's like it's being saved in a whole nother area that isn't really. I don't think it's dependent on where the original sample location is, because I think the PTI, as far as I understand it, I might be wrong.
They
but-
may care about path though. That's a flaw of FL Studio too.
Well, I think
It doesn't care about the path, and so if you change the path, it'll still work after you rescan, but
Yeah.
it'll only do what you think it'll do if all the files that are in subfolders have unique file names. Say, because if you had say you had 2 drum kits that both have like a folder inside of there called kicks,
yeah,
and then they both have something in there called kick01.wave.
yeah.
When it loads the project, if it hasn't found that sample before, if it's new, it'll pick the first file it finds that matches the name.
Oh, yeah.
So you can load a project up you haven't touched in some years, or maybe it came from another machine, and it loads wildly different samples than what you had in mind.
Yeah, I think what it does, and I might be wrong though, I think it saves like a PTI. All it's doing is it's saving the sample and it's saving the instrument settings. I don't think it's.
Then maybe it's actually baked into it.
Yeah, I think it is.
That's
I'm
sweet.
pretty sure, because I've moved things around and haven't lost anything.
Sweet. That's
So,
beautiful.
Okay, so we don't need this now. We don't need this. Okay, and then we're gonna save this as. Keep it consistent. Copy that up to here. Wait, does it not retain the name? Okay. All right, that's weird. What if I do this, though? Okay, now we're good. I don't know what I did, but somehow that worked. All right, cool. Good talk. All right. We got one more thing to add to this. Not that. Oh, my God. Give me a second while I fumble around this thing. Okay, let's look for a hi-hat sound of some sort. Just something to keep it moving. Just to keep it basic.
That 6 was pretty good.
I like that one.
That isn't bad either. That 14 is...
614.
I was going to suggest something maybe more noise-based, which makes 14 feel good. That's too heavy.
It's too heavy, but it might be cool for some texture.
That's not bad, but it's too resonant.
These are opens, obviously.
Like that 5? What was that 5 there?
I like
not,
that.
I don't hate that.
You can always pitch it a little bit too if it was a little too much.
What's that? That's nice. What's that 24 though? Oh, boy, do I like that. 23 and 24 are money.
Okay, let's do 23 as well. Money.
But not like as a combined sample. I'm saying there might be
separate,
there's
right?
places where you'd use either or
Yeah.
or a combination.
Okay, so I start with the snare usually when I'm patterning like this. I'm just gonna do this.
For now, everywhere you put the snare, make it hit that 24 sample too.
Okay.
Yep.
Now it's a matter of what we want to do for the kick. I usually do just start with like something like that.
That's amazing.
So the other thing is the micro move thing. Check out how much this changes it. I'll fix the other one.
Because it's just an offset.
So now I'm splitting the difference between sample 6 and 7. I don't have to do any tempo changes. It's the same effect as I was showing you the other night.
This is more like what, like I said, FL just gives you a slider per.
Let's get that 4/4. That consistency. I'm gonna do it on this track with the other one.
Say, I don't know if this one I feel like would sound better if it like not as swung out, you know?
Okay.
Like something a little straighter.
Okay. In that case, we don't need to go completely that far. We could just honestly do one parameter, which is the swing move, and we can kind of do it to taste.
Exactly.
Where did it go? Did I lose my snare? I think I did. Did I lose something? That's weird. So what happened there? Undo. Come on. How far back will you let me go? Oh, no. Where did I lose? How did I lose the samples?
I have no idea.
That's so weird. They're right there. All right. Okay, so let's think about this for a second. Did I do something up here? Okay. It's right there. Okay. It's it's just not playing here. So the next phase would be that's correct. Nothing there. Okay, hold on.
I don't really understand the concept of tracks on this at all.
Mhm.
That screws me up pretty bad. So it's hard for me to like offer literally anything.
Oh, yeah, you're
I
fine.
can't wrap my head around any of it to help you troubleshoot.
All I know is the samples work in there.
And it's sounding great too, I might add. That's beautiful.
And but when we bring it here,
did you change like
the only thing I
loop
changed was
points
swing.
or a length or anything that would change where like
Maybe, yeah, that's a good point. Let's see, we're on the kick. That
do we
looks
know it's
good.
triggering the front of the sample?
That's a good point too. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's very strange. Okay, so what we're gonna do at this point is we're gonna shut this down. You're gonna hear a little buzz because nothing's grounded.
You're gonna feel a little pinch.
And maybe that will solve the problem. And it did. Okay, thank you.
What?
Look, sometimes I don't ask. Hey, but Polyend, if you saw that, maybe you can tell us what the heck happened there.
That'd be nice to know.
Yeah, that's good. That happened on a video. Something happened when I went to the swing. Let's recreate it. You know, when I was trying to move the swing before, it didn't.
It wasn't triggering.
It wasn't triggering, so I don't know. Something happened there. A little glitchy. You know, it is kind of charming being a part of the growing community of this thing, where it's like I'm in the early phase where it's still kind of clunky. I like that. I mean, it's fun. I feel like I'm discovering something. But anyway, yeah. So we have those samples in there, and here's where we were. Let's put this in.
That's amazing.
So now
we just need to start bringing in some of those other samples.
let's start with.
Now you're making the kind of filthy beats I can't even make.
Okay, hold on.
Silly filthy. Dude.
Check this out.
Dude.
Okay. Let's make it twice as long, and also let's get rid of these because I need more time.
Yeah, now you're on the money. Oh, baby. Oh, man.
You know I got it.
You're crushing right now, dude.
You
This is it. Like you're Dude, that kick is so good.
It is good. I'm going to use it for some of your other stuff, too. I got back this guy up here.
Oh.
Want that to be a little more. Turn that off. There we go. I don't like that second beat. I think it should go here.
Yeah, you're forcing it a little too straight there. That's not bad.
Hold on.
Get rid of that hit. The one after it. The one that the first one was fine. Yeah, that's great. Because it leaves a spot to like mimic that accent, but with the lyric, with the cadence. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm very into that. Oh yeah, there's a whole thing I could do with.
Play along with it.
I don't really have anything. Hold on.
See if you got something.
Not even turned on.
Is there any waveforms coming through it?
It's not showing anything on this display.
No? Man, what happened just a moment ago? Yeah, power cycle it.
You gotta match them up.
Check that synth now. Oh, look at that other one you made. There it is. That'd be good for like a hit, like a stab. Oh, hold up.
That kind of thing, you know? Found the other sound I needed.
Go ahead. I'm gonna do it again. I'll add a little gain to you on that one. Go ahead.
And I don't know if any of it's time synced, so you'll have to just sync the fronts and hope they're close. And you can even repeat it. since they're the same patterns repeated, you can be like, you get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you can use it 4 times until you move on to the next pattern, and it might actually sound cooler if you did that.
Yeah, I kind of like it getting off a little bit. I think that'll add to it a little more than anything.
So maybe you do it twice,
Yeah.
you know, per pattern. Maybe that's what it takes.
Let's call this. Let's get this in here somewhere, and then we'll call it for the day. I think we got some good work done today. This is cool. I'm glad we did this because this is gonna help me get your stuff done that we've been kind of hyping. Good.
I just want to see if it actually like
How well it fits.
or doesn't. Like it might be cool that way too. I just don't know.
Let's find where that other one is.
Farther to the right. Farther. Farther. There you go. Oh, sorry, it's too far. There you go. There you go. You had it right the first time. Farther to the right.
Farther right.
Yep. There you go. That's too far left. There you go. You're even cutting off the front a little bit on that. That's probably about right.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Okay, and then we'll save that. And we're gonna do this, but not that much more.
That's loud as hell now. That's
yeah,
awesome.
it is. So we can just mess with the volume.
Oh yeah. That's beautiful.
Let's copy this pattern, paste it.
There you go.
It works really well.
Thank you.
Might have to come up, but
That's perfect. Can you add another track of the same hi-hat sample and make it play me like 16s, but put the volume way down?
yep.
Because I'm getting into what the hook would sound
You
like.
talking about that sample? 16s you want?
Yep. It might need to end up being 8s because I don't know what our time base is, but let's start with 16s because that's what it feels like to me.
And then we're going to go... Oh, actually, let's do this then for that to get the volume right. Oh.
Yup. There it is. That's what the hook is supposed to sound like. Dude, that's amazing. Whatever you're doing there that's screwing up that sample, that's beautiful. Ugh. Exactly. You're right on it.
Check this out. Screwed up even more.
All valid. As long as it hits back on where it's supposed to on time, I don't care what you do. It's so good. That's so good.
I love that
Oh.
function.
That's huge.
So then,
If you're gonna do that, you gotta do this.
get that worm in there like a Dr. Dre beat. Yeah. That's good.
Did you load something else up?
On accident.
Is there still record time left or no?
Let's see how much we got. A little bit.
How much?
We can do about probably. You could probably get away with another 10 seconds or so.
Okay, let's try it.
Okay.
But I'm gonna record it with the knowledge that you're gonna reuse the same hit multiple times to save space.
Gotcha. Well, let me just play a little bit what
There's
you're
only
gonna play.
two
I want to
pieces.
look at the gain here.
Okay.
Go right there.
That's everything you need.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. So let's set that endpoint.
There's only two. I'm only playing
let me hear
two
this section
two
real quick.
patterns. There's the part like I showed you when I'm making beats. There's so half of that is one pattern. So here.
Is this the first half?
So yeah, you're gonna need just that piece a bunch and the part before that. This is there you go. There you go. So, but those need to be two different things. One of them needs to be that hit, and one of them needs to be the front. Of
Oh,
those.
so I'm gonna split them into two different
Yeah,
samples.
yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, easy.
Yep. Because
Gotcha.
you only need those two pieces.
Save, and then we'll call this whistle. And then goes sample. There's the whistle sound, then playback. We're gonna go down to this. We're gonna add one, add another, and then
There you go. That's it.
okay.
That's it. So for everything except for the pattern that's going into the last one that's looping, it's gonna always be that first sample, you know, and then we're just gonna use that second one at the loop point, because that's my big clue. It basically needs to. I'll show you where it hits. So it goes there, there.
So
Yeah, the one right above that. Oh, I was off. Shit.
are you sure
Really?
it's not this one?
Might be. Yep. And then mimic that again
Right here.
with the same per. There. Yep. Yep, there again. And then we'll trigger the other sample, the second one we cut. Right there, like somewhere right in there. It's probably right on the money, like the one right above that, if I had to guess. I don't know though, that's the part we gotta figure out.
We're just experimenting here.
Yeah, but that would be one where you can use the micro shit to make it start a little earlier, right?
Yeah,
Because
you want
that's
it to
the
be
problem.
earlier?
You're right on the money, but it's a little late in where it
So
starts.
with the micro move, you can only push it forward. So
Oh,
we gotta
okay.
push it to the slice below or the sample below, and that micro move to just about to the next one. Let's try it there, halfway mark.
Okay.
A little early still.
Now it's early, yeah.
Let's get to 80. No, let's go 75.
Still early.
I go to the next one then. Okay, so here, let's put it back here, and let's just get that to 0. See what it sounds like on it again. I think what it is.
I think it's just I played it too fast.
Yeah, and that's okay because we can just add another slice.
You can slice the individual notes.
Yeah. We can get as close as I want to do as little slices as possible.
Okay,
so
you only need one more then to sync it up.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
The next slice goes right there. The dun, dun.
Right here.
Yep. Nope. Next one over.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, because
then you can trigger them. Dinking, dinking.
Yeah, and
I don't care if the second hit isn't perfect. Yep.
Yeah, because then you can put it wherever. Yep. Get rid of that.
Yep. Exactly. Perfect. That's exactly what it needed to have. And the little bit that it's off is the kind of off I want it to be because it's samples. You know what I'm saying?
Here we go. Back into it.
Dude, you're ready to go. This is it.
Dude, I could show up.
Does this give you a window into like how I like?
Oh yeah.
Because this is like amazing.
Okay. Well,
This
say
is
that again.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
like absolutely perfect.
Well-
It's the exact kind of sounds I like.
Yeah.
Like a mixture of
Well, you
spaced out
created
and
them,
dirty
so-
stuff. I know.
That's what's cool. Like you create them, and that gives me the palette, and you gave me the guidelines. I can make stuff like this all day. It's easy.
That's so perfect.
Now you got me a kick and
what
snare.
you're able to do, like we did it. I like that we did it the way I usually do it, which is let's just lay everything in there, even though it's probably too much,
Yeah.
right? And then you have the freedom to go, ooh, it'd be cool if like it was
Yeah.
spaced out here, and
Yep.
then I let all that come in and hit there or whatever.
It's a good
that's
workflow.
all up to you.
If
but
there's anything I learned today, that would be this is a good workflow. Having you create the sounds, I catalog them, and then we work together on creating the beat. That was a really good workflow. I felt really good about that.
yeah,
After
I'm
the
blown
stream, I'll
away
show
by
you-
this beat, dude. This is so good. This is like better than any beat I've made in probably 2 years. It's amazing.
I will after the stream show you, give you a rundown of all the things I have made you.
Nice.
So we'll do that after the stream because we don't want to spoil anything.
All right.
Let me switch cameras. Okay, so thank you for tuning in. That was a long session today with a lot of different, I guess, components. We had me alone at the beginning, and then John came in with some awesome conversation about folk music and like trends which I really enjoyed. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Not really, man. Vibe Unit on Sundays. That's it.
Yeah, Vibe Unit's popping off lately, so make sure you check out our stream from Sunday. That was amazing. I had a good time. And you pointed out we had a couple moments in there that I haven't really gone and visited yet.
There's some actual cool stuff in there, in my opinion.
Awesome.
And I have to point out, I'd be leaving something out if I didn't point out, you sat in on drums on Sunday.
Yeah.
So the secret's out, my man. You're not going to be able to... oh, shoot, did I...
Oh, I don't know. Oh, yeah.
I pressed the thing.
I was like, oh, no, did my interface crash?
Nah,
It's happened.
It's me.
Yeah. Thanks, dude. I don't want to be a drummer.
I hear you. I'm just saying, like, it was sweet because, like, the thing I was doing,
Mm-hmm.
that's what it needed. It needed a little bit of that, like, drum, like, energy in it somehow.
You know,
and it's, like, regardless of whether you knew, like, any patterns or, like, what to play, just, like, the hits where they need to be.
Yeah.
Just push it all home. Like,
I'll say this,
I was into
man.
that.
I don't like the way... You'll have to show me how you kick on the kick drum because I don't like the feeling. I hate it. I feel like I have no control. There's probably a secret I don't know.
I think it's just time spent personally because it feels really clunky at first.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
So
really
I'm not the only
clunky.
one.
Nah.
Well, in terms of Skylight Huddle, like I mentioned before, if you're interested in doing a pre-recorded interview over here discussing topics about music, interest, if you're an artist and you want to talk about maybe plug your own music and talk about your process of writing, all those things. I'm very open to getting to know some local musicians around here, and I'm really excited because I've just got to the tail end of putting together a email that I can send out with kind of like what you can expect if you come here and hang out for a day.
Nice.
The kind of thing that, if you don't know anything about me or what I do, it might kind of, take away pull the curtain back and let you know, like, I think it'd be a fun thing to, I want to take away the anxiety that might be existing for anyone who is hesitant.
Well, remove some of the mystery and
remove the
that'll
mystery.
help, so
Cool.
cool.
I'm just a novice musician trying to find other musicians to like learn from. I really want to learn, and I also want to talk about music related topics. So message me or email me at skylighthuddle@gmail.com if you're interested in that, and I'll send you an email of the things that you can expect here, and also some of the things that I expect from my guests, and just little things like that. So it's really fun. Exciting things down the pipe.
Cool.
But thanks for tuning in today, folks, and we'll see y'all next week.
Cool. Until next time.